What is going on, everybody? It's CryCloud here. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be taking a look at the beta for American Truck Simulator 1.39. As you could see on the screen here, that they redesigned the launchpad. So for those that are not currently in the beta or don't want to test it because there's just too many bugs, which I understand, this is what the redesign is going to look like. There may be some changes to it. I don't personally know. SES really hasn't put out anything too much, but it does say there is a redesign. So this is most likely going to be what the current or what the future Launchpad is going to look like. Everything's subject to change because it's a beta. But from the looks of what they've posted on their blog, I will leave a link down in the description. You can go check that out, and it tells you everything about it. That they have a launchpad redesign. Now, there's other changes also to 1.39 for the beta. There's new viewpoints in Washington and Utah. Was introduced in Idaho, and they got amazing feedback from that. So they've added in some viewpoints in Utah and Washington, which is great. I passed by one. They show up now as gray question mark icons on the map. So whenever you come by one, it will tell you that it's a viewpoint, that you've discovered one, and then you can go check it out. Vehicles, they're introducing the Lowboy trailers. They're now ownable, including articulated ones. So we will go and check that out here momentarily, which is really nice. I know that the Lowboys that they had already in the game were kind of just standard, really didn't have much to them, but now they've added an ownable, added articulated ones with dollies and stingers on the back, which is great. There's different variants to that as well. Other features, viewpoint improvements, replayability, you could skip it if you choose to do so, map status and fade out. Sound updates and improvements, the turbo slider, sound positioning, cabin spatial mixing, and sound distribution to accessories. Trailer browser and lister shows all valid cargo variants, and then experimental transmission input shaft emulation and clutch brake support. I'm not really too sure what that is, but once again, I will leave a link down in the description to the blog, so you guys can go and check it out and see everything. I do have a few mods in on 1.39 beta, so we're going to go check that out here. So I am running the Kenworth K100E by Overfloater. I will do a review on that shortly. For 1.39, I know he's having some issues with trying to upload it to Steam for people. But I also have the Smarties Wheel Pack, which works the Real Tires mod, Trailers Edition, and for the truck. Using Coyote's parking brake sounds, I don't really notice anything different. And then obviously the Route Advisor, which gives a more cleaner look to the game. It doesn't have the map showing up all over the place, which is really cool. So we're gonna go ahead and exit out of this and then continue game. Go to beta test. Get rid of all that. And load up the game. So like I said, I am using the K100 here, but that's not what we're going to be focusing on today. So if you go and you are in the beta, you could check out, like I said, the viewpoints. Let's go up here. There is a viewpoint right there. As you can see, it has a little camera with the two films on top of it as a viewpoint, and that is in Utah. As you can see there, I haven't been anywhere else because I started a new profile for the beta specifically so I can check out everything and not really have mods get in the way of messing anything up. And it looks like there is a viewpoint out here, which I believe is towards Colorado, but I'm not really too sure how to get there. Maybe there's a dirt road to go onto. I haven't checked that one out. But the big main thing is the Lowboys. So we're going to go in here. As you can see, here's the wooden Lowboy. So go to custom configuration with this. And as you can see, they kind of revamped it. Looks a lot better, looks a lot cleaner, more realistic to, what American trailers, the Lowboys anyway, are. You even got the hydraulic lines back here and the brake cables and all that. And then if we go up here, you could do a double, which has the stinger on the back, or a triple, which adds the dolly and the stinger. I have noticed that in the beta, do not run the stinger in the back. I noticed it also with the triple 28-foot trailers that the dolly, for some reason, connecting to another trailer is kind of broken. It kind of drags on the ground and can cause trailer damage, and you can't really go any like fast because the wheels aren't even spinning. So I may test that out here just to show you guys. But so we're gonna look at this. Then you have the wooden lowboy, as you can see there, has the wood panels on the deck. Then you have the full one, which adds the wood there, or you could have the wooden and aluminum decking for that, which is really cool. Over here we have the 45-foot option there, or the 50-foot 3 axles, which is really cool. And then paint, you know, you could paint it to whatever they have, or you could just use a custom color here. I already have one made for my current setup, but you know, you can go ahead and change that however you please. Over here to the accessories, which is really interesting that they have. So you come up here to the trailer front, so they have standard gooseneck, and then they have a wooden deck flat there. And it's really nice how, you know, they incorporated all the cables and everything, the hydraulic lines, which is I thought was really cool. Maybe in the future we can get a nice setup with these Lowboys now that they're going to be coming out soon, and actually detach the gooseneck from the trailer. I don't know how they would incorporate that, but I think that would be really cool. Whenever you drop off a trailer, you have to disconnect the gooseneck for it to be unloaded. It's just, you know, personal preference, but I mean, that's something that would be really cool if they were able to add that in there. I know it'd be quite difficult to have something to where you could detach the gooseneck from the rest of the trailer. Moving on here, we have the fenders for the gooseneck here. So you got the fenders there, you have the standard, and then you have the aluminum, which goes all the way out to the front, like so. Now, I don't believe the wooden deck has it. No, maybe not. Yeah, it does not. It's going to change that because there's no point to have fenders whenever it already covers the axles. Down here you got mud flaps, so you could have, you know, standard or exclusive. I personally, whenever I see Lowboys in my area, whenever they have the gooseneck, I personally don't see them having any mud flaps on the side of the gooseneck like that. But I guess in other areas of the country, in the United States, that they do. I just personally, in the eastern part of the country, I have not seen that. So, move on from that. We got the markers here, so you just got the standard and the exclusive, which is really cool. It just adds extra lights to the trailer, as you can see there. The outriggers here, I have not yet tested it with a very oversized load, but I'm assuming that the outriggers are obviously going to come out with wood on top for oversized loads that are wider than the trailer. So I just haven't personally tested it out. Back here, the wheels ain't nothing really too different, as those are stock wheels, but I have, like I said, I have Smarties pack in here. And if we go down to, if I could find it, here we go. The Alcoa 22.5 by 8.25 chrome wheels. It changes them out and makes them look really nice. It's just more stylish, I guess, than the stock wheels if you do decide to, you know, use this, which is really nice. Back here we got the different covers. Now you could run it without the covers on top of it. You have the aluminum plate covers, you have the painted ones, and then you have the wooden deck, which is really cool. And it has all the points to you know, tie down the chains and everything on there, which is a really nice touch. Glad that they added that for more realism, which is really cool. Personally, I see a lot of them without the covers on there. And they still even have the chains on there. So it's just all personal preference. It just makes it look really cool. I guess this kind of setup here would go hand in hand with the wooden deck like that. Just kind of makes it look a little bit cleaner. But like I said, I personally have not seen a lowboy like this in my area. So we'll go back to that. We'll go back here. On the sides here, you got your warning flags. You could put on like so. Back here, you can change out the mud flaps. You got the rear bumper, you got the standard and exclusive. The trailer rear, so you could have the beacon up top like that, which I have personally not seen. And then you have the strobe lights that are on the ends here, which I have seen. And then here we have banners, so you have long load, oversized, or wide load that you could choose from. I typically just run with oversized load, but everything's obviously subject and it's all personal preference. So we'll go back over to the double now and we'll check out the accessories with that. So over to the chassis, so you got the articulated 3-axle, articulated 4-axle, another articulated 4-axle which has the dolly up front, and then you have the 5 axles there. This is the setup that I'm currently running right now. But nothing really has changed with that. We'll go back to this. Go over here. So a few things, obviously you can't add, you can change the mud flaps and then the tail lights there. And then obviously still add the decking. And then back here is where you add your warning flags and everything else for the trailer. Your signs, your lights, and then your mud flaps there. Go back over to here and then we'll do the triple, which adds the dolly up front and the stinger in the back. And we'll go all the way back up here. So on the front dolly, you could add the fenders for that. Sorry. So yeah, you could add the fenders for that, which is really cool. If it's kind of more realistic, if it would kick up dirt and everything. So that would go over obviously the truck, like so. But if you already have a fender like that in the real world and with mud flaps, you really don't need one. So we'll get rid of that. Then back here you could still change out the decking, which is really cool. I know obviously they have the extended, which is really nice. So the gooseneck is it flipped down and extended out for the heavier haul. Then down here, just change out your lights and then your mud flaps, and then you got the front mud flaps you could add on there, and then everything else is pretty much still the same. You got the 2-axle deck, the decking that you could do there, which is nice. And then you got the stinger in the back here. I don't know why. Maybe they'll add it in. You could add decking over the rear stinger too. I think that would be a nice option to have. So you have like the wood decking here. Maybe on the rear stinger you could put like aluminum or painted ones. Since it is a extra piece to the trailer. And then everything else is still the same in the back. So nothing has changed there. But what's really cool, if I can get a nice view here, we'll go to the articulated 7-axle. So if we actually go down here, you could actually see that. Got the 7 axles there. Then you have the 8 axles, which adds the extra wheel on the front there. And you guys can see the difference. It adds the extra axle and everything, which is really cool. Still everything in the back is the same, and then you have the 9-axle, which adds the 3-axle stinger, the 3-axle lowboy, and then the 3-axle dolly up front, which is really nice. The air lines aren't hooked up until you actually hook up the trailer itself. So just wanted to point that out in case anybody asks, well, why aren't the cables hooked up? Well, it just happens whenever you pick up the trailer. So, but other than that, I think that's everything with this trailer with the lowboy here. So we'll actually go ahead and paint this, and we will go through, if I can get back up here. And I wanted to show you all the the problem with the dollies that I have experienced. I'm pretty sure other people probably have as well. So I just wanted to point that out. We'll put the wooden deck on there. We don't really need, yeah, we don't need that. We'll put the mud flaps on there. Exclusive lights, and we'll just go through and change all these wheels out real quick. Kind of give a nicer look to the trailer. If I could find out where it's at. There it is. I know this might be a boring part of the video, but you know, I just like to personally go over everything, just in case people have questions. It's already answered in the video, and if they have any other questions that I didn't go over or something, you know, just feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer those. Probably shouldn't have gone through and done all, you know, all this, but it's just I wanted to show that everything still does work, you know, properly with this. Add on the flags here. Add the strobe lights, and then we'll do long load. It's already changed. Everything's good there, right? Alright, so we will confirm that. We will purchase that. Go back up to Moab, Utah. That is now purchased. And then we will go to Garage Manager. We'll go ahead and travel. And it is nighttime. Great. So, that's the current trailer I'm using over there. So we'll go ahead and start this up. Show everything on it to make it daytime. So we'll pull back out, go forward again. There we go. We'll make it daytime now, so gotta see everything better. And this isn't really the best spot to so we'll swap this out to really get this trailer out of here. It's kind of a bit of a pain, especially with a stretched chassis truck that I am currently using. So I'll do my best to get it out without really doing too much damage to the truck or to the trailer. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit of a pain. So go ahead and bring this out. And what would be, you know, like really nice for this Lowboy is if the dolly actually had a lift axle on it. I know most of these triple axle dollies do have that. But as you can see, the rear dolly is kind of broken. It kind of just doesn't really work out too well. Let's see if we can get back here. Yeah, as you can see, it kind of just is broke. So if you are on the beta, I would not recommend using the triple. I'm not sure why this is. It's just a bug with it, and I've noticed it with other trailers that have, you know, extra trailers on the back. For instance, like I said, the triple 28-foot trailers, they have a big issue with the dollies not really working. I know this isn't a dolly, the dolly's up there, but you know, this is a stinger, but it's just an issue I wanted to point out in case anybody was like, oh, well, why is this happening? Well, it's a beta. It's bound to happen. And no, it won't get fixed from just pulling it. It's just clipped through the ground, and it just won't come back up. So, yeah, there's that. We'll head down here to the coastal mining, see if we can pick up a load, see what this big trailer actually has in store. I know my driving's not the greatest, but you know, yeah, see how it just doesn't follow and then it does one of those. Yeah. So it's a bit broken, but you know, I figured I'd make a video on it just so people, you know, out there have an understanding of if they do want to try out the beta, that you will run into this issue with the dollies, or the stingers I should say, or the dollies on the 28-foot trailers. As you can see, it got trailer damage. So we'll take a look at here, see what we have that we can carry. So we have a heavy bulldozer, another heavy bulldozer, and a wheel loader. So we'll take this one and see if I can get this loaded. It shouldn't be too hard to do if the trailer wants to cooperate. So we'll take a look at this big heavy 89,000 pound load here. If I can get this trailer in here. There we go. So we'll load this up and take a look at it. So there's the big heavy dozer. Doesn't say what it is. It says, well, it says it's a Z35K dozer. So it doesn't have the front plow on the front that these big dozers would have because it'd be too long. So just like in the real world this, they do take it off and they'll ship it separately on another trailer, either on another lowboy or on a flatbed trailer or drop deck trailer, just because it's too wide to put on here. So I like how they did that, more realistic there. You can see the chains, you know, tied down on it. You got the straps on the back, which is really cool, and the chains as well, which I think is really nice. It is a little bit wider than the trailer. So in this case, it probably would have the wide load on there. Personally, what I think what they should do is they should at least on the loads that are a little bit wider, either obviously have the outriggers come out. There we go. Either have the outriggers come out on the side of the trailer, or if you like have an option whenever making the trailer or customizing it to already have them out. If you choose not to, maybe they could add something into the load that'll paint or add flags onto the actual load itself. I know big heavy machinery such as this, like the big dump trucks, the quarry trucks, the articulated ones in particular, they'll paint the edge of the wheels orange as a sign that it's an oversized load. So it's also for safety, so vehicles could see it, you know, coming down the street, or you could add the orange flags on the side of it. But it's just something, you know, I think that would be a really cool addition. Obviously, it's beta. Maybe that, I'm just saying, you know, down the in the future, down the line, maybe they could add that onto that. But this is a 89,000 pound heavy bulldozer. And as you can see, the stinger is still broken. So if we try moving this, well, take off the parking brake, it'll move, but since that rear stinger is not moving, you don't go very fast. So this heavy of a load and the stinger not being able to move, you know, it's kind of messing up everything. So you can't really go fast or anything like that. So we'll actually detach from the trailer. So I can try to get around the side here. Back this up. But yeah, that's the big old heavy dozer on there, which it looks fantastic. You know, I love the scratch marks that it has on the side there, which is really cool. You know, it got the digger in the back. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But yeah, that's to break up the ground behind them, basically like tilling the ground. Uh, Strap is nicely done. The chains are nicely done on here, which I think is fantastic. Obviously, they have the different chain points, as you can see on the side of the trailer, and depending on what load you have, will have, it'll have those the hooks actually come up, which is really cool. And then you got the ratchet system over there, which is nicely done. I'm pretty sure they'll have a load, or they should anyway, that'll be able to be tied onto the top back here. I just personally haven't found one yet. This is the heaviest thing that I actually have found. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this trailer. Once again, it is beta, so everything's subject to change, and hopefully they know that that's a problem there, not only with the Lowboys, but like I said, the 28-foot triple trailers, it has the same issue, where the dolly in that case, it does not work. So, and it'll cause your truck to slide everywhere and cause trailer damage and all this other stuff that doesn't need to, happen. But that's what betas are for people to come in and test it out. And I figured I'd come in and take a look at it. And I did say I was gonna do, a review on the trailers. Well, at least on the new Lowboys anyway. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Whenever the actual release comes out, we'll revisit this again and see if they've made any other changes to it, if they've added anything. But as far as I know, and from just looking at it, this seems to be it. Um, what you see is what you get. So maybe they, like I said, they'll add the lift axle for the front dolly here, as in most cases they do. Um, as far as I know, and then the rear stinger back there obviously just needs to be fixed. But that's enough for me. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like, as it does help my videos get out there more, uh, which would be, great for the support. Subscribe if you are new, if you do like the content. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will catch you all in the next video.